It's the release of the new Premier League fixtures ahead of the forthcoming season, and already certain fan bases are in uproar at the revelation and announcement of certain fixtures. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around today's news from the Premier League of the governing body officially revealing and announcing the Premier League fixtures for the forthcoming season to take place. Of course, all 20 Premier League teams, including, of course, the 3 newly promoted teams, were waiting with anticipation over who they will be facing at what time in the season, who they'll be opening their campaigns up against, who they'll be facing around about the busy Christmas time, who they'll be facing at the end of the season, and everything else in between. But already, the news of this has seemingly caused a certain fan base in particular, and maybe a few other fan bases as well, to be in uproar at the usual sort of gripes and the usual kind of moans and groans that usually come with this day every single year. Certain fan bases looking at other teams' fixture lists and going, well, they've got an easy start and their fixture list isn't that difficult, and so on and so forth. We're going to be taking a look at certain fixtures. We're going to be taking a look at what certain fans are saying and everything else in between, as well as much more to this story and to this topic. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about this topic of conversation. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and get involved in the topic of conversation. And without further ado, we're going to get on with things ourselves here. We're going to be talking about the fixture lists and why certain fans are annoyed at this fixture list being revealed today. Now, I don't normally care about fixture lists and things of that nature. I never do a video on, oh, who's got who's playing who, because at the end of the day, you have to play all of the other 19 teams, both home and away, from your team. So I don't necessarily care, and I feel like there aren't any easy games in the Premier League, despite obviously some having, or some seemingly being more favourable games than others. I agree with that. I 100% can get on board with that. But at the same time, they still pose their challenges, they still pose their threats, they still pose the potentials of upsets and shocks and things of that nature. And if you want to be the best, you've got to obviously beat the best. And that would include sometimes playing some of the best teams consecutively. And certain teams may get those best teams sporadically and spread out across the season. I'm not one of these people that is in uproar about anybody's fixture lists. It happens. You have to face all the other 19 teams, both home and away, at some point. And anything that I believe you can turn to a negative about that, you could also see as a positive if you just change your perception on that a little bit. So I'm not someone that goes on this, that jumps on this trend and instantly moans about it. But I have seen a fair few people today, especially online, that are in uproar about this, that are moaning about the fixture lists. And like I say, there is one fan base in particular that are seemingly moaning, and that is Arsenal once again. Now, it's not just Arsenal, there are other teams out there, there are other clubs out there, but there have been a fair few comments on various social media sites and platforms of Arsenal fans voicing their concern, voicing their frustration, voicing their annoyance at a fixture list that to them seems to be against them. Why have we got a difficult start of the season when Liverpool don't? Now, I will point out that Opta have used, the AI. They've used their intelligence. They've used all the statistics and all of that kind of stuff. And they've actually stated that Liverpool actually face the toughest start to the season. Who am I to argue with a computer? But in the eyes of certain Arsenal fans online, that is not good enough in their opinion. That is not to be believed from their point of view. What is to be believed is that they honestly believe Arsenal have been given a horrible start to the season and they're trying to give Liverpool as much of a head start as possible. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous in my personal opinion. Like I say, I hate this every year because we always get this every year. Every year we always get teams or fan bases, should I say, moaning that their team has got a difficult start to the season, or they have a difficult run-in at some point in the season in which they have to face 5 of the top 6 traditional teams or whatever it is. Or maybe they've got a really tough end to the season which could obviously derail whatever season they manage to produce up until that point. There's always moans and groans of that nature when it comes to revealing the new fixtures ahead of the new Premier League season. And everyone just, I don't get it. I don't get why. You have to beat the best. You have to play everybody. So what's the gripe? Like, the only annoyance I have with the fixture list is when Sky decides to constantly put one specific team, mainly Liverpool, on a 12:30 kickoff after a difficult midweek game in which they've been in the Champions League, for example. That's my only gripe with the fixture list, is that sometimes certain teams do get a little bit screwed over with the scheduling of the weekend's fixtures after maybe participating in a midweek game. That's my only gripe with the scheduling. Other than that, I am fully aware and I'm old enough to realise, Liverpool have to face the entirety of the other 19 teams in the Premier League at some point. Same way Arsenal do, same way Aston Villa do, same way Chelsea do, and Man City and Man United and Newcastle and Tottenham and newbies Sunderland and Burnley and whoever else you can name. They all have to do it. So just get on with it. And if your team is going to be good enough, if you're as good as what you say you are, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, City fans, you'll go through it with no problems whatsoever. Remember last season? When Liverpool went through a very difficult run-in near the beginning of the season where we had our first 7 games of the season and everyone was saying, well, we've not played anybody. These next several games will determine Liverpool's season because they had some really big games coming up. You also factor in Champions League as well. It was going to be a really tough test for Arne Slot's side. And for the most part, we passed it with flying colours. Again, those are the kind of games that helped us win the Premier League title this past season. If you're good enough, you will navigate through those games. Arsenal fans moaning and whining, what are you scared for? Are you scared that your team isn't as good as what you think it is? Are you scared that your transfer business is not going to be as good as what you hope it is? Are you scared that Arteta is not the right man for the job? Are you scared that some of your players are not as good as what you think they are? What's the worry? What's the scare? Why are you annoyed? And that doesn't just go for Arsenal fans, by the way. That goes for any fans out there that are complaining about the fixture list and looking again at other teams rather than your own team. Once again, it's a case of not looking in-house, but like looking out and spitting out of the tent rather than looking inwards. It's just a case of that again, in my personal opinion, and I find it strange. And look, like I say, I didn't want to comment on it. Didn't want to comment on it because I don't care for this fixture list kind of thing, like I keep mentioning. But the overall reaction of many fan bases and many people has kind of... I kind of had to say something. It's kind of been irritating me a little bit to actually just get this out there and get this off my chest. Stop complaining about the fixture list. Demand more from your team if you are worried about the fixture list that are coming out. And maybe, just maybe, your team will progress. Your team will evolve. Your team will get better. if you were to focus more so on your own team than on what's going on around you. Because once again, I will say this. Certain fan bases, again, did that a lot last season. Certain fan bases, rather than looking at their own team and their own club and their own problems, were too busy looking at other teams. Too busy pointing at other teams and going, what about them? What about that? What about this? Rather than looking at their own team and like pointing out some of their own shortcomings and faults. Don't pick up from where you left off. Try something different. Try something new. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying on this matter. Like I say, my only gripe with fixture lists and scheduling is certain times where the weekend is set up where a team that's had a big match midweek will get like a 12:30 game after a lengthy travelling, a monumental game on a Wednesday, and then a 12:30 game on a Saturday. That I don't think is necessarily the right way to go about it. But apart from that, I understand you have to face every team home and away. It's the way it's been done for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. So to be annoyed by it, to be frustrated by it, it's just strange to me. It is just so strange to me. I do not personally get it, but it is what it is. Look, there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Premier League fixture list for the brand new season ahead? Do you see this being a problem? Do you see that this should be changed in some way going forward? Or do you maybe share my thoughts on this? Maybe you just don't care about it and you are quite concerned by the people that are in uproar about the fixture list that have been presented and revealed earlier on today. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in the comment section. Use and abuse that section, people, and talk to me on this particular topic of conversation, because I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and very big, greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll speak to you again very soon.